Hello everybody! Before Nate and I embark on our expedition to Antarctica, we'd like to tell you a little bit about where we're going, how we get there, and what we've done to prepare for this trip. So the first leg of this will basically be to take commercial flights from Chicago via the west coast to Christchurch in New Zealand.
There we meet up with the rest of our team, and if the weather is good, we board a C-17 military transport plane operated as part of the military's Operation Deep Freeze program and head down to the Ross Island. Ross Island on the Ross Ice Shelf is where McMurdo Station is. Here you can see the interior of one of these transport planes from our team in 2003. An 8-hour, typically bumpy ride will get us down to Ross Island. Unfortunately, if the weather's bad in McMurdo during this time, the plane might have to turn around, making it a 16-hour round trip. This is what we call getting boomeranged.
And that's why the carry-on bags we're permitted on the planes are called boomerang bags. Our first stop in Antarctica will be McMurdo Station, which is the largest permanent settlement on that continent. We will be there during Antarctica summer, which runs from December through February, and that's also peak season at McMurdo, when about 1,200 staff and scientists will be based there. While at McMurdo, we will pick up equipment that we shipped ahead of time from the U.S. and also meet our mountaineer Peter Braddock. Peter will be responsible for putting us through survival training, which is mandatory before we move on to the remote camp where the fieldwork actually takes place.
Within a week, if the weather is good, we'll board LC-130 transport planes that have been specially equipped with skids to land on ice runways, and these will take us to the Beardmore South Camp. This camp is in the Beardmore Glacier region of Antarctica and is a main place where we'll be living for the next 6 weeks.
From our base camp on the Beardmore Glacier, our 10-man team will board helicopters daily to fly to the different fossil sites. 2 of these are on Mount Kirkpatrick, the highest mountain in Antarctica, at about 12,500 feet. We will also visit other mountain peaks in the region looking for new fossil sites, as well as known fossil sites in the Beardmore and Shackleton Glacier regions.
By now, you're starting to notice that we're using the phrase weather permitting quite a bit. That's because Antarctica is prone to severe weather year-round. Even though it's summer down there in Antarctica, windstorms can blow in rather quickly, and they can often limit the amount of time that we can get work done. Some of these storms can get to winds as high as 50 miles an hour, and here you can see photos from our 2003 season when just a mild storm kept us from doing a lot of work. In addition to this, it can also get very cold in Antarctica. Although our field camp on the Beardmore South is a balmy 0 degrees Fahrenheit, when it's overcast and the wind is blowing heavily, it can quickly drop to 20 to 30 degrees below. So how do we prepare for the harsh conditions like this? First, we go through a rigorous physical examination where we're tested for every conceivable medical issue that could arise.
Months in advance of our departure for Antarctica, we have to ship much of the heavy equipment we intend to use down there. And because the rock is very hard on Mount Kirkpatrick and at other sites, we use a variety of power tools such as this rock saw or gas-powered jackhammers. These help us define the blocks of rock that contain the fossil. We'll then split those blocks using a variety of hand tools. Here you can see some chisels and spikes that we drive into the grooves and cuts we've made with the power tools. We wedge those in using sledgehammers or crack hammers, and we often pry them loose using pry bars. These individual fossil-containing blocks are then loaded onto helicopters and taken off the mountain. Obviously, to record the work, to record the scientifically important information that we see on site, we also have cameras, we take GPSs, we take copious notes while in the field. Another important aspect of the equipment is the cold weather gear. That's issued to us by Raytheon Polar Services, who contract for the National Science Foundation, our funder. And we get that issued to us in Christchurch, New Zealand, where our next video will be from.